Yeah, I don't know if I agree with him. I think we're pretty consistent with our starts. Some of it's just experience. I also don't think that we're a heavy match team, that's a critical piece. That you have a huge advantage at home. There's probably 3 or 4 teams in the National League that they're built differently. So they run a heavy match at home. You see them with a very strong home record. It's the consistency of the game will drive that for you.
Left side, fourth row.
Paul, over here. I asked Nico Mikkola in the locker room when the series becomes a best of 3 how he personally deals with pressure, and he mentioned just trusting your guys, trusting your teammates. As a coach, how do you see that manifest? How do you pick up on that with your players?
So if you did it on a percentage of what you thought would happen next on the ice, that's where trust is built. So if there's one guy either with the puck or there's one guy driving on the puck, if you have a pretty good idea what's going to happen next, then you will trust what's going to happen next. You've seen it enough times, and that'll make you faster. So replication of predictability is the foundation of the on-ice trust. If you show a video clip and you pause it and you say, what's going to happen next? You hope that all your guys in the room have a pretty good idea what's going to happen next. And then there's the aberration of the game, the things that don't go the way that you expected them to go in a play, and how you counter off that.
Right side, third row.
Paul, recognizing we obviously have 2 elite teams contesting this thing, but you guys had gone years without blowing a lead in the playoffs after the intermission. Now that it's happened a couple times, do you address it, or how do you kind of go about that mentally with your team?
We want to keep learning as we go here. And you never get to that point. Like I've said before, nothing's permanent, so you never get to that point that you'll not have an opportunity to learn something. So we've had a 2-goal lead and a 3-goal lead. This is such a high volume series. I felt we came off it a bit clearly in the second. I thought, but not for great stretches of time, and still didn't create a perceptible zone time imbalance for it. So we'll learn. There's a couple things I think we can do better in that second period that we did very well in the first, and actually kind of got back to it in the third. So we just talk about it and go through it.
Left side, third row.
Hello, Paul. Kind of playing off that, there's a pretty large disparity between the amount of time that you guys have had played with the lead in the series and the amount of time they've played with the lead in the series. And I was wondering, in a 2-2 series, when as a coach, when you look at that disparity, what does that tell you, or what can you use from that going forward?
If you can figure out the why of it, then you would want to replicate the why, and that would be the pieces that we think we can do, and be maybe more consistent with that. When you go back and everybody does the game differently, I'll run chances for and against, and after each game I thought, well, that could have been a pretty well played 14-13 game, which I haven't said very often in the playoffs ever. So, but it was akin to last year. I think last year the even strikes generation was quite a bit higher against us by our team. The numbers were more skewed. The numbers are considerably more even this year. But that doesn't, pick a chance. McDavid in alone or Sam Bennett one-timer. Well, that's 2 goals or 0 goals, which is what it turned out to be. But 14-13 might be you could say that might be just.
Take one more question, front right.
Hi, Paul. I don't know how much attention it got at the time, but you had 5 guys used on your 4th line last year, and you lost them all. It seemed like you took some time to find the right combination to provide that same thing. How important was that, getting that kind of, especially for the limited minutes, to be the effective in that?
Well, I think there's a 3-year generation to what happened there. We got to Game 5 in Vegas, and my 5th line was part of my 3rd line, and I had one guy on the 1st line. We got deep into our team and through injuries that year. And then last year, it was just a bit like Kevin Stenlund stayed the entire time, and he was the permanent piece, but we brought Kyle Okposo in, and we had players, Steve Lorenz and Nick Cousins. Nick Cousins scored the overtime winner in Game 6 Toronto the year before. So we did have players in and out. This year, We've used all 3 of our 5th line, just on shorter duration. They haven't come in and stayed in. But as I had said before, what happened to our team is that in the 4 or 5 weeks preceding the playoffs, that line as a line, as it's set now, were really impactful. And when they came back in, we're down 0-2 to Toronto. And for me, that was the difference. That's when that series changed. So we'd be very comfortable moving any one of we're healthy through 15 bodies. So you just be grateful for that, because we certainly did not have that 2 years ago.
Thank you for your
Okay,
time,
guys.
Coach.
Seth, this team's been so good on the road in the playoffs for a couple of years now. This team's been so good on the road for a couple of years now in the playoffs. As one of the new guys coming in, just what have you noticed maybe that's different about this group on the road come playoff time?
Yeah, I've noticed that the style of game that we play, it travels. I think we don't change anything based on whether we're home or away, or first change, last change, anything like that. Our game is very direct, it's simple, and it's physical hockey, and it's fast. So nothing changed. I think on the road we just get to that game a little bit quicker for some reason, and we're looking to do that tonight.
Right side, first row.
Hey, Brad, obviously this team has been really good at bouncing back all throughout the playoffs. What has been your sense of the group since the overtime loss? Long plane ride. I'm sure a lot of poker was played. What are you liking about what you're feeling from the group?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how this group just is so in the moment. They don't get too high, don't get too low. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was a disappointing loss, but the page was turned pretty quick. This time of year especially, you can't get caught, thinking ahead or behind. It has to be in the moment, and especially with the quick turnaround of this game, guys did a really good job at resetting and doing what they had to do to be prepared for this game here tonight. So, that's been a pretty consistent thing, that we don't get caught up in, looking ahead or behind. It's all about the next one.
Left side, second row.
Yeah, Seth, you've been around Paul Maurice now for a few months since you got traded here. What's, just from your vantage point, what has it been like being coached by him? What have you learned about him and maybe you didn't know? And does he change it all now that you guys are this far into the playoffs?
No, he doesn't change at all. To answer that question, I think ever since the first day I came in here, the first meeting I had with him, he's very direct. He knows what he wants you to do. He gives you your role, and tells you the system right away, how the team plays, how he wants you to play, your strengths, your weaknesses, and so on. So he's great in front of the team. He knows when to keep it light, when to joke around, when to be serious. He's got a great temperature on the room, and in playoffs, he really, like Marshy said, we're a team that we don't dwell on wins, we don't dwell on losses. We're in the moment, game by game, and he does a great job of making sure that that's possible for us. And of course, we do video, we review things on past games, good and bad, but it's always moving forward. It's always how can we get better, and that's really the main thing, the impressive thing that I've noticed about him. It's always how can we improve, how can we get better each day.
Right side, second row.
Yeah, question for Brad. Teams have had slightly different approaches to skating every day or not skating, and in today's game, the sports science trying to get the guys more off the ice, generally speaking. I'm wondering how much that has changed during your career.
Yeah,
in terms of wanting to be on the ice every night or not.
Yeah, it's changed a ton. It was one of those things where it was automatic. Every game day there was a skate, pretty much, unless you're back to back, and if you're a young guy or a fourth line guy, you didn't play a lot, you were skating. Now, especially this time of year, it's what you need, whatever's going to make you feel the best you possibly can. But obviously with the sports science and all the data they have these days, it tells you that it's not necessarily the best thing to do all the time or every day, and it affects your recovery and everything. So there's obviously a lot more to it. It's changed a ton. It's a different mindset as well. But sometimes it's good to get out there and feel the puck, and doesn't mean you have to go 100%. Just, you get your legs moving, get the feel of the puck and everything. A couple shots can help with your confidence and all that. So everybody's different. but yeah, it's just whatever's going to help you feel your best for the night. You try to incorporate in the morning.
Take a few more for the guys, right side, second row.
Another one for Brad. Just having had a big moment here in Game 2, the double overtime winner, is that something that helps you guys at all, knowing that you've already had a big moment in this building?
I don't think we really think about it, to be honest. Every game is so different at this level. I don't, you look at moments where you feel maybe calm and poised, but every situation is so different in these games that you just got to be in the moment. You can't think because you've had success in any game that it's going to happen, or it's going to play out the same way. It's just about being in the moment, and when you have an opportunity, try to capitalize on it and make the play, whether that's in the D zone, the neutral zone, offensive zone. It's about making the right play at the right time, and that just comes from, I think, being confident in ourselves and our game, and trusting our structure more than it is, looking back at any particular game.
Take two more questions, left side, fourth row.
Seth, you mentioned going over the film, pushing ahead to tonight. What was the big takeaway that can be applied from game 4 to 5?
I think just stay loose. We understand the refs are going to call the game how they see. So just staying shift by shift, winning your shift. I think we got a little stagnant maybe in that second period, and we want to continue to get pucks in and move our feet. So I don't know if we were, I think it's just human nature sometimes when you get a lead like that, but we understand how the games are played. There's ebbs and flows of it. We got to try to be on the right side of those, more consistent, I think.
Last question, right side, third row.
Yeah, Brad, this is for you. You've played in some pretty epic Stanley Cup finals so far. How's this one stack up?
This has been a pretty incredible one. I think this is one of the tightest series I think anyone will ever see. Most exciting, just the talent level and how close these two teams are. How back and forth the games have been. It's been very exciting, a little nerve-wracking at times, but we're all big fans of the game still, and to have these two teams playing each other and play the way they are, and the games playing out the way that they have, it makes you realize why you love the game so much, but also why this trophy is the hardest it is to win. I mean, when you see the way these things play out, it's why it's so special to be part of these opportunities. You never know what's going to happen. It's fun to be part of.
It's been reduced to a best-of-3 series starting tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. They're going to come out hard, and we are too. It's a great matchup right now, and every game's really close, and we're just really excited for it.
I know you guys have talked about it the last couple of years a lot, but you guys build for long series, and you build for series that are going to go 6 or 7 games like this one's going to. What is it about your team that you think lends itself best to having success in these kind of situations?
Yeah, every series we get into, our mindset is it's going to go 7. So, right now it's 2-2, and it's a best of 3, and we like to grind, or we have a grindy game, and we like to play physical, so we like it when it goes longer. So
there have been a few stretches where, you guys have just been all over them in the offensive zone, and it just seems like they can't get any footing. What's the difference, you think, when it's like that versus when they maybe are finding space?
I just think it's two really good teams, and sometimes they're all over us, and we're trying to find our footing in the D zone, and they're buzzing around, and they have stretches like that, and we have stretches like that, and I think that's kind of what it is. It's they're going to have their looks, and we're going to have ours, and their zone time, they're going to be buzzing, and it's been pretty good so far both ways.
On that, just how hard is it in a series like this with two teams so good, like you said, to kind of swing momentum either when it's going your way or not going your way?
Yeah, it takes one shift, one big hit, one goal, or something like that gets some momentum going, and it's so tight, and two really good teams going at it. It's just going to take one big play or one big hit or something like that to swing it.
Carter, I asked Nicola how he handles with the pressure, and he talked about how he trusts you guys. You guys trust each other. How much is trust a big factor on this team?
Yeah, it's huge. I think when everyone's doing their job and we trust each other to do our job, we're in the right place, and we play our game to the best we can. So, yeah, we trust each other, and we're a really close group. And, yeah, whenever we go on the ice together, we go as brothers. And leave it all out there.
Some of it has been quite feisty. A few of the games where it was like after every whistle, it seemed. Last game, maybe not so much. Do you have a preference? Is your team more into it one way or another?
I don't think we have a preference. I think that other game kind of got out of hand, and we kind of expected that. But we expect more kind of like last game. We're focusing on the hockey and playing between the whistles, and that's what they did, and that's what we did too. So we don't mind it like that too.
You guys have been in a lot of the series, up and down, back and forth. How would you define, or how would you describe this one, the characteristics of this series through 4?
Yeah, it's really tight. 3 OT games. I mean, not much ice out there. Everyone's defending hard, playing hard physically, and yeah, it's tight out there, and it's a really good matchup, and it's a lot of fun to play in.
Has anything surprised you about these first 4 games? The amount of goals scored, or the fact that you're playing 3 overtime games, or whatever?
Yeah, it's the first. I think that might have been my first time 3 overtime games through the first 4. So it's just how tight it is, and yeah, they're a really good team, and I wouldn't say anything really surprised me. I mean, we know what kind of team they are. We played them last year, and they're very similar to that. And yeah, I mean, it's just really tight and overtime games, and expect more of that tonight.
You guys have had so much success on the road. You'll have to win at least one on the road to win this. How do you look at that, given the success that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much started every series on the road, so we have a lot more games. But I think it's just yeah, we like being together, being on the road, going into opposing buildings, and it's a lot of fun like that. So the game is still hockey. It doesn't really change much. It's just yeah, a little different.
Thanks,
Thank you.